What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. If you joined last night's live stream, you missed some of the worst and best content ever. The market imploding and going crazy, which we did a live market watch thanks to Swag Kage, and then we had a torture challenge with Mystic freaking Mine. I don't care about your argument of, oh, the build-a-board 5 negate in boards are just as bad as the floodgate. No, these combo players have to dodge hand traps, have to know their routing after hand traps, how to read what other hand traps could be there based on the ones activated through the turns. It infinitely takes more skill to do your build-a-board workshop than play one spell and trap and go, oh, do you have the out? Did you draw the out? Can you get to the out in time versus my negation slash other cards for this? So I wanted to exemplify some of the funniest games of Mystic Mine because I do commonly go 2-1, 3-0. I've never had an 0-3 wash when doing this deck building challenge on the stream. I should say torture challenge. And with that, I wanted to just show some of my favorite win cons in the deck actually versus how the games usually go. And the first one I want to point out is, have you ever considered about how your extra deck is actually structured? Because I have won more games this way than I ever should, but against decks like Prank Kids and now Tenyi Sword Soul and other such decks. Look at this guy. He's playing the new $60, $70 card. You know what's gonna beat him right here? I'm not gonna have to activate the Demise of the Land, which was nice backup to the situation. In the draw phase, I'm going to give him a gift. I'm gonna give him 5 Ojama tokens, and he's gonna stare at those, look into the extra deck, and set pass, realizing, wow, I have nothing in my extra deck to deal with this. So, funny enough, we start burning 600. This isn't fun, my guy. I mean, 5 tokens per game. I'm having actually a lot of fun winning the Mystic Mine Torture Challenge without activating a gosh dang Mystic Mine. And he just keeps passing back. I'm not going to activate anything that can trigger talents, and he gets to a trap card that's just not going to do it here because he's not going to have a worm monster to control to target anything. Would have been pretty nice to have this card against Mystic Mine if you could play a monster. The next one is kind of just the taking your soul out of the game, you can do nothing sort of duel. You got one turn to even move, and those are some of my least favorite to see people go through, yet oh so fun to inflict on another human being, isn't it? So we have the field barrier to go along with mine. Again, the Ojama's win con to give them a monster so that they can't even do anything. And Pot of Prosperity is going to let me dig here and see my options. Now, my options are, you know, quick payback, something I already have, the Alter win con that doesn't depend on the spell and trap destruction. I don't need another Mystic Mine at this point, and I already have Ojama Trio covered. So I just take the quicker win con, the 8 turn / 16 and final countdown terms that don't cost me any life points. And we put the rest on the bottom of the deck from our only, I think this is our only expensive card in this entire build. We'll take a look at the build later. So we hand 3 monsters once again in the draw phase, and looking through the options, there's not a lot going. Are you going to just commit more to the board at this point? No. And I'm going to Pot of Prosperity here once again. And this time we get to Goddess Gold Oracle. If you haven't read this card or haven't had the fortune to play against this lock, this card allows you to forego a summon in the turn, and you can look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, and if you do, place them on top of their deck in any order. But you can't normal or special the rest of the turn. Not like I want a monster anyways. So we're going to start to dig through Alice's deck here, and what's really funny is they have a Cyverse trap that actually allows them to pop a card with Take Out Field Barrier and maybe get them to playing the game, but they also have Lightning Storm, which can't even activate thanks to these tokens, and they're stuck. They're stuck thanks to this card, and I keep putting other things on top of the deck. We get to a Lilith, go ahead and use it, and we get Ojama Duo to guarantee the 5 monsters again, making sure nothing's popping up on the field that would be a Cyverse monster, and continue our rampage till they lose the will to fight at all. It's one of the saddest deaths in Yu-Gi-Oh! Just the give up. We activate Pot of Greed there, we go even further, and they're done with the game after seeing one more card, knowing that the outs just aren't stacking together. The final game here is probably the sickest one you're about to watch. It's the Mystic Mind Mirror, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy, aren't you ready for the hot takes and actual theory that I come up within the mirror match? So I go first. I have no clue what I'm playing against. We go ahead and activate a Cauldron. We also hard activate the WinCon because we have a metaverse for an on-demand Mystic Mind. He's setting 3 and I'm like, wait, what is this? Eldritch, no! Activates the wave motion. We know it's the mirror. Slaps the card D down, and we're gonna stick that card D on the field with the Mystic Mind. There's a pass, so Cauldron's starting to go, and it's not during this turn, but the next that I'm going to realize a little something since we're trading back and forth. Now, this is almost like built for the mirror. He's also playing what I would assume is Nurse Burn as a stratagem alongside the Mystic Mind for faster turns, but these Jar of Greeds, it's like able to out the Goddess Oracle that would lose all hope. This guy keeps throughout the entire duel. Reckless Greed, Jar of Greed, able to dodge. And it's at this point, I actually realize I should gain the life points instead of burning because it's going to put me more turns away from the wave motion just in case something happens. So I go, you know what here? We're gonna gain that life points for this turn. And then I'm gonna go ahead and activate Pot of Prosperity. We're gonna look through our options and get to Ojama Trio to clog up that field just a little more and guarantee that we're not going to be dealing with problems. Goddess Oracle is going to let me keep going, and like I said, keeps having all these outs to the situation, gets the Cauldron of his own, and adopts my strategy of gaining life points. So apparently it's proper to use Cauldron for the greater gain than the lower burn. But once I establish 2, that would just be 100 burn a turn. So it does keep the pacing going at least, and I'm outpacing with the wave motion at this point. And we're going to just establish a 3rd Cauldron. Dark Bribe tried to do its job, and now Psalm's not going to stop the Cauldron, obviously. 3 Pots of Bruin was too much for my opponent in the Mystic Mind Mirror, leaving me at 3-0 record for the night on this torture challenge. You wouldn't catch me playing mine unless it was for money, of course. So, the deck list is, just in case you were wondering, 3 Mystic Mind, the mainstay of the deck, 3 Lilith to help me go for my strategy of getting 2 tokens and making sure my opponent has a little something on their field. Also, it allows you to activate Mystic Mind and have a monster on the field so that them committing anything to the field will automatically let it go. A lot of people prefer Silent Wabi over this, and I understand why. It stops anything from ever having an on-summon effect that could go backwards towards you. Metaverse at 1, Terraforming at 1 lets us play extra copies of mine. 3-wave motion, it's the WinCon as discussed. I like Balance of Judgments. All too often, I'm finding this card is gaining a super surplus since I'm committing to Ojama Duo and Trio. Chain Strike I might replace for another Just Desserts. I often find it doing less than my Just Desserts would put in work within this matchup, or say a Secret Barrel. We have 2 Demise of the Land. More often than not, I feel like I'm not able to use this, but when my opponent does actually have Link Spider or Mask Reina, something that can take out these Ojama tokens, especially when I run into Tri-Brigade, that is to no pain. This helps a lot to have a Mind on Demand. We have Final Countdown as the Alter WinCon, not dependent on being in the Spell and Trap Zone. Our good old Mystic Mind Protectorate over here, the one Just Desserts. 3 Prosperity, like I said, the expensive card of the deck, followed up by 3 Duality, which works in tandem with that to dig even deeper and further sometimes and help vary our options. 3 of the Pots of Stirring for the slower WinCon, and 3 Goddess Scold Oracle, which, yeah, not letting your opponent draw their Spell and Trap Destruction, it's just pain, as you saw. The extra deck, I probably should actually take my own advice and get things that can slim down Ojama tokens in case I ever do find myself in the mirror match again. We'll probably fix that up. But for now, this deck has never, whenever playing through 3 singles or matches, had a overall 0-3. I've always won 1 to 2 matches, and a lot of the times it's a 3-0 sweep. The last 9 games were 9-0, so it's kind of crazy. Thanks for watching today's painful video. If you are a Mystic Mind enjoyer, maybe I brought a little smile to your face knowing you're not alone, and maybe having a dirty revelation and feeling of goodness around putting Ojama Trio and Duo on somebody's field and watching the world burn. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I promise this won't be the regular content. Like the video if you just enjoyed the discussion or show. I don't blame you if you go the other way. And let me know in the comment section down below your experience with mine. Is it as bad as the Build a Board Workshops / worse? Like, I think it's worse by far. Just my take, though, on floodgates and how the world works. Thanks for watching, everybody.